The girl with so many babies. She won't stop having babies.
And congratulations, you're pregnant right now.
I am.
The girl with so many babies.
Yeah.
You're busy in the bedroom,
my friends
Tshepi.
Well, I am married.
Yeah.
We'd be worried if I wasn't now, wouldn't we? It was. I was part of the group that got fired all on one day. I think there was like a chain of us in the reception at the old building by Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
There was a chain of us at reception there waiting one by one to get into the office to be fired.
And you got fired. Why did you get fired? Why do you want to be on radio? My first answer, without even thinking, I want to be famous.
Period. To go there.
Period.
Of your biological father brings up a yearning into you of being wanted. For me, this is what I believe. That you get that, even if you have a stepfather who is amazing and out of this world, it's like...
He's an amazing host, and he's going to have many more amazing people on his show. And I just hope that you guys grow with him on his journey. And we never know how big this is going to get. So let's just see where you take this. Take this Juice 2.0.
All right.
Ke na le ngwaga tse tharo ke betsa comedy marapo bitso la me ke bofelo ke batla go tshwana le Tshepo ke batla go tshwana Tlhalefo ke spana ka thata ke tinto 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 tinto.
All right, Gab City B-Dub Africa, the rest of the world, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of the Juice 2.0, your favorite show. On the count of three, I need you to count three with me and just shout juicy with me, all right? 1, 2, 3. Juicy! Okay. I got Malika shouting. I got Wings shouting. Happy birthday, Wings, by the way. It's Wings' birthday. We already talked about that, but we needed to make sure when we're recording the episode, everybody knows that Wings just turned 27, and he just dropped a brand new album called From the Bedroom to Gab City. Amazing. Tabz is here, in the words of Mac G. Tabz is here. Wings is here. Malika is here. And our very special guest is in the building. But before we start, I gotta ask you, how are you doing genuinely? Drop it in the comment section. I would like to know. Playing a big brother, playing an uncle, whatever it is, let me know how you're really feeling. But before we do that, that's introducing the guest this morning, who is a special, phenomenal woman. How about we get to your comments? Let's find out what you've been saying. All right, you ready? All right, in just a few seconds, because I gotta open my phone, which I had hoped I would do before we start recording, but clearly. And then now the Wi-Fi is doing the things. Okay. Just a great Kosi Twala episode, which you should definitely check out. I have a child, Madoris, who says, oh my God, whenever Kosi is speaking, you will be in love with her talk. She's so amazing. Love it. And then we posted a Sunday Sermon episode, which you should also check out. Big shout out going out to my brothers at Sunday Sermon. Our partnership is growing, and I appreciate you guys for putting me on game. Bonang, who says, I told you, brother, that this stuff is good. Appreciate you so much. And then we had such a lovely conversation with a wonderful human being. One of my boys here has a crush on her. Her name. I'm sorry, that always happens. I gotta throw them under the Hofa and Mudise, right? You guys must have had a chance, an opportunity to just go check it out. And more than that, to press subscribe as well. We had a wonderful time, man. But I have Touch Mahalaji here, who says, that's my wife right there. Okay, Touch. All right, do your thing. Claim your claims. Shoot your shot. And then on the Kosi episode, I also have the Dimitris, who says materialistic, blah, 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 blah. I beg, we're on BB Niger. I had to, assume the accent right there. Let me see who else, man. Shika Colette's episode, which you should definitely check out. I have a Lechai who says, beautiful interview. Love it. On the Kosi One More Time episode, I have Beyonce. Should have been a Beyonce, or I don't know, Beyonce, and I hope that I pronounced that correctly. An intriguing and refreshing interview. King Kosi Twala, ladies and gentlemen, one thing my Coco gonna do is laugh and keep it real. Thanks, TKay, proud KR. All right, it's a lot of them episodes on the Juice 2.0. If you haven't come across the Juice 2.0 on YouTube, just click the Juice 2.0 and type it in and subscribe, man. Let the family grow. Without further ado, I need you to put your hands together and help me welcome this phenomenal lady. I've been calling her phenomenal because really I believe in my heart that she actually is very phenomenal. She's done so much for the culture. She is a mom. She is a wife. She is the executive producer of Dining with Tshepi, and she's a host, radio presenter, radio personality, TV personality as well, communications and marketing specialist. I need you to put your hands together and just really let's hear it resoundingly and thunderous applause for my sister, Tshepiso Solomon, goes by the name Tshepiso S or Tshepi S. Oh yeah. Good morning, sis.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Finally, we get to sit down and chat.
Yeah. Even though I feel like I was your last option. But we'll talk about that another day.
We'll talk about the other day, some other day, because so many things were happening. I was making follow-ups about your girl. You know, your girl's still, running away from me.
People are fearing you out here in the streets.
What's going on, guys?
People are scared. People are like, what a gay? The juice is controversial. The juice asks a lot of controversial questions.
Of course.
I see a lot of people duck it and dive in your
A
questions.
lot.
Yeah.
Which is why, I feel a lot of people that I've reached out to have said no. Most of them have said, you know what, let me garner some strength. And I'm like, wow, okay.
We need to pray about it before
we need to speak to God first.
Your gods, all of them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show officially. You and I have brushed shoulders, bumped into each other here and there.
Yes.
The last time you and I spoke was actually at the Juice 2.0 podcast over at the Mother's Day brunch.
Yes.
Right there in the Massa. How have you been since then?
I have been great, hey? I've been easy just.
Yeah.
It was a couple of months ago. Things in my life happen so fast. My friends always say that I'll see you this week, and by next week there's like a whole new thing going on.
Right.
So I've been good. I've been redirecting things a little. I'm looking to do some different things in 2024.
Dope.
So I think this last part of the year for me is a lot of redirection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If the name Tshepiso Solomon drops right in a conversation, which you're not part of, right? Hypothetically.
Yeah.
What do you think the people that know you and are having a conversation around you and your life are talking about?
A lot of people know me
Such
as
a
Tshepi
smart
S.
question, right?
You're proud of yourself.
Hey!
Wow.
Anyway.
A lot of people know me as Tshepi S from radio, from my radio days 10 years ago, actually, Yarn FM. So I think that first and foremost is what would pop up.
Yeah.
Is that.
Yarn FM.
Yeah.
That's dope. And then the second thing that will pop up?
The girl with so many babies. She won't stop having babies.
And congratulations, you're pregnant right now.
I am.
Oh man, is there like a
pregnant
jingle
right
for
now?
it? There's nothing. 6 months.
6 months now.
Wow.
6 months now. Yeah.
Okay, so Yarna FM, and then the girl with so many babies. The third one.
The third one, Miss Botswana's PR.
Miss Botswana's PR.
Yeah.
The fourth one.
What would the fourth one be? I really don't know what the fourth one would be. I think that would be it. That's what would pop into mind. Those are the things that have been a lot more to the forefront.
I like that.
Especially maybe I'd say in a group of people that don't know me personally. Yeah.
Let's take it back then to this conversation about Yarna FM. How old were you when you started? What influenced your, desire and whatever that was to get into radio and Yarna FM?
I think to get into, I've always loved Yarn FM. I really did from a very young age.
Yeah.
And, I don't think growing up or coming along, I thought I would be a radio presenter or radio personality. I remember I wanted to be famous. In fact, I wanted to be a singer at some point. Yeah.
Me too.
So
I got audition. Sorry to interject. I got audition and therefore got into an interview with the then programs manager who asked me, why do you want to be on radio? My first answer, without even thinking, I want to be famous.
Period. Go there.
Period. And stepping out of the room, right? I thought, oh my God, how shallow was that? And I didn't think I got the job.
Yeah.
But eventually, hello, yes, you got the job.
Okay.
So you and I share that.
We share that passion. So I think I lost that I want to be famous thing along the way. But for me to get into radio, that's what it was. I wanted to be a singer, and then, I kind of decided otherwise with that one, because me and like a stage full of lots and lots of people was not going to work out if I had to do performances. Yeah. So, and then Yarn FM had a training program. my boyfriend then, who is my now husband,
Right.
had a lot of friends on radio. So I was just like, you know what? So he got the tip off that, okay, there's this training program. I think it was the second training program your FM had.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't you jump on? So I jumped on and,
Dope.
here we are today.
How old were you at this time?
I was 23.
23.
I was 23.
Shucks, man.
Yeah.
And then how long were you on Yarn FM?
7 years.
7 whole
I was
years.
at Yarn FM 7 years. I did weekend for quite some time.
Weekends?
I had a really, really dope show, which I think must have been the longest running show that stayed stable.
I'm so sad that I missed it.
It was called Reloaded Sundays. I used to play some throwback music, and I used to have a cooking segment on there as well called Sunday Lunch. So that one lasted, I think, the entire 6 years of the 7 years I was there.
Wow.
Eventually, I think I became the only one that was working 7 days a week at Yarn FM, because then when I eventually got to drive time, I still would do my weekend shows.
Yes.
I think for another year or so, So it was a great 7 years. I did drive time. I did graveyard. I did
graveyard.
a little bit of breakfast during our training times.
Yeah.
I did, but then I just stayed stable on weekend for most of the 4 of the 7 years I was on weekend radio.
I love that. I love that. You'll tell me how you would describe your time at Yarn FM right after you tell me if you went to any other radio station after that.
I did RB2.
RB2.
I did RB2. I did the top 40
Awesome.
for about, I was there for a year.
Yeah.
And then, I had to go. I would still be there, but that place is a tough place.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's more the people than anything else. But so I was at RB2. I did the top 40, and then I'm looking to get back into radio now. I'm not going to say where. I'm just dabbling with a couple of places at the moment. I think we shall know in a few months. Where I'll be settling in.
I wish you nothing but the best with that decision right there. So your time at Yarn FM, how would you describe it?
Woo, that was a defining era. I think for me that was a defining. I found myself. Those are the years where I think I had to do a lot of finding myself.
Right.
At Yarn FM. Yarn FM is such a small place also, and everybody becomes really close-knit at Yarn FM. So there was a lot of love, there was a lot of drama. I was part of the group that got fired all on one day. I think there was like a chain of us in the reception at the old building by Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
There was a chain of us at reception there waiting one by one to get into the office to be fired.
And you got fired. Why did you get fired? Why did you get fired?
I don't know. We had been there for, I genuinely don't know why. I think they were cutting down. Apparently, I don't know. It was
downsizing
a
and all of
retrenchment
that
kind of scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shucks, man.
I think that was the end of good radio presenters. That's what
Talk your game, sis. But we'll let go of the radio thing. What do you feel is something that you love the most about radio? And the second question is, do you think radio is still relevant, and you trying to get back into it? What would you change about it if you'd change anything at all?
Yeah. Just let's go with the first one first. You said what is
the one thing that you love the most about radio?
One thing I love the most about radio, it gives you a platform to speak. Whether you're talking about serious stuff or whether you're sharing your own experiences. Yeah. I'm a very sharey kind of person. And I think sometimes I share too much. So for me, it is a great platform. I love to speak as well. I'm very chatty on radio, but I think when we're off radio, I'm not that much of a chatty person. So for me, it was always somewhere where I could really come out and just be like, come out. And so that is what I love about radio. And that for me is the biggest platform. There are a lot of people out there, who are just living. We're navigating this life thing, all of us, but not a lot of us help one another to navigate this life thing. I feel like it's also just I don't know if it's a Botswana thing or a black thing. We feel like,
yeah, you do your thing.
So for me, radio gives that platform.
The relevancy of radio, and what you would change going back into it if you'd change anything at all.
Radio will never stop being relevant. I think it is the format in which we are doing radio that might, dub it irrelevant, because now we are moving digital.
Of course.
So, things like the Juice 2.0 are what are continuing to allow radio to be relevant.
To breathe, yeah.
We need to be podcasting radio instead of saying that this is the end of the era of radio.
Of course.
Podcast, be in the studio, because that's where then, I won't lie, also with podcasts, especially the ones that are long, I have a difficulty in just staying engaged a full hour without there being music breaks, without there being...
So radio should be like a... in between, I feel
it should be the in between. You still get the music, you still get your advertisers, which are what keep organizations going. I think it should be incorporated together. This is how to save radio, and this is what I think would keep radio relevant.
I think you're coming back to GabzFM. Not
really?
Back. I think because you've never been to GabzFM.
I've never been to. I'm left with RB1.
RB1.
Do My FM and GabzFM. Those are. It would be between GabzFM and Do My FM.
Now you're coming here. I'm speaking it.
I've been wanting GabzFM for so long, but y'all don't want me out here. So I'm just like,
After this interview right here,
by the time I get to GabzFM, y'all will be paying arm and a leg. I'm telling you.
11:20 is your time. I have my sister Tshepiso S in the building. You have a conversation with her as well. You text, you call, you WhatsApp. The numbers 14962. That's the SMS line. You call her on 3956962, and for your WhatsApp +267 395 6962. Let's go make some money, pay some bills, and then we're back with more conversations with my sister. Where it's a conversation with this just like there's a word I was looking for. Now it's gone. But she's a titan in the industry, radio personality, TV personality, and marketing consultant and specialist as well. I didn't know that about you.
PR and marketing.
PR and marketing. Yeah. We'll get to that. It's a lot of amazing things that you do, that you get up to, that we need to discuss and just, have a chat around. But the second thing that you say people will talk about you is how you are the girl with so many babies.
Yeah.
You're busy in the bedroom,
my friends keep I am married. Yeah. We'd be worried if I wasn't now, wouldn't we? I should be.
Oh my goodness, Seppi. We should be very worried.
Yeah. We need to stay busy.
So you're on the fourth baby now.
Yeah, on the fourth baby.
Pregnancy for you has been one of the focal things that people will talk about, at least as far as conversations at interviews, this and that. The recent one I saw was with my good sister, Hauna.
Yeah.
And you guys were crying on it.
Yes, we had our moments. Oh, that was a hectic one. I was very scared before I did that interview, I must admit.
Why?
It was the first time I was actually coming all out with that experience. Yeah. And in fact, I was talking to my mom a couple of days ago, and she told us somebody told her about it, and she watched it. So there are things we need to unpack, her and I, because I think it was really the first time that I came out with just like the real experience, other than just saying I was a teen mom.
Yeah. It's a whole experience, and I think I'm grateful, and I'm glad, rather, that's the better word, that you went to Hauna with that story first, because some of us would have been like, hey girl, you was busy with that at 14?
Yeah, well, what?
This girl.
Yeah.
But Hauna, because of who she is, and she's able to just make you comfortable and make you unpack things slowly, and you were able to feel every emotion. But for a lot of people that don't know your experience, right? You were a teen mom.
Yes, I am a teen mom. You don't stop being a teen mom.
You don't do that.
You have the baby while you're a teen.
Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
At 14, you had your first kid.
Yes, I fell pregnant at 14. So I had her by the time I turned 15. She was born in November.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm an August baby. It's actually my birthday in a couple of days.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you and him.
August 15th. Yes,
babies. Leos. I get scared about Leos. But so, you gave birth when you were 15.
Yeah.
What I had wondered, listening to you talking about your story, is whether or not it becomes something that you don't want to talk about anymore. And if it is, then why don't you want to talk about it anymore? But the converse of that is that if it's still something that you love talking about, like today, what do you hope that the listener gets out of your story?
I think for me, talking about it, there was time where, I'd tell people, yes, I was a teen mom, but, it's not something that I was going around wearing on my shoulder, especially for those that don't know me, you know.
Yeah.
But I think talking about it now it's just become a part of my story that I am comfortable with now, that for me, I feel is not what defines me or defined me.
Yeah.
If anything, it is a lot of the reason why I am who I am today. I'm where I am today.
Yeah.
A lot of the reason why I worked as hard as I did. So it's just a journey of becoming at peace with all the things that make your life your life.
Right. I love that. And then the story about your parents finding out was also such a terrible and terrifying thing for you. You know, such a. But look, with your story being that story, and you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Right? How many daughters do you have?
I have one daughter. We've got two daughters. My husband and I met when our daughters were 4 years old.
Awesome.
And they're 20 today. So we came together with daughters. So I have one daughter that I gave birth to.
Yeah.
And then two boys. And then this one I don't know. Yeah.
Having, fallen pregnant at 14, right? Do you have a conversation with your daughters about pregnancy? And if so, what are you talking about with them?
I had to.
Yeah.
I remember it was the one thing that I used to have something called the Teen Mom Program.
Awesome.
Where I used to mentor other young ladies, teen moms. I worked with Baylor Clinic.
Dope.
And they'd just get me all these teen moms and I'd come and have a chat with them. We would do sexual health and reproductive classes, just give them, some of them who are out of school, give them alternatives how to go back to school while you still have a child. So for me, it is a conversation that I started having with her very early. She used to come with me to my Teen Mom Program sessions as well, just so that she could see what the teen mom experiences,
Right.
So it's a conversation, I think, by the time she was 13, 14.
Yeah.
With every generation, these kids get naughty at a younger age.
It's like,
what I have noticed.
What is going on?
With every generation, we start earlier.
Yeah.
So I think by the time she was 13, 14, I was already talking to her. And all I remember saying to her, in fact, was, when you are ready, I want you to just tell me you are ready.
Right.
I will not ask you any questions. I will not ask you about the boy. I will not rebuke you about your age at that time.
Yeah.
But I would like you to let me know, Mama, I'm ready, so that we can take measures that can protect you. I can teach you how to protect yourself. And ensure that, we are breaking these teen mother curse. We are ensuring that you can get, no mother wants their child to have it as hard as they did or harder than they did. And when I say hard, I don't mean like, my parents gave me everything, but it is still difficult to have a baby when you're young,
I know.
So for me, I wanted her story to be different.
Okay.
So and also what I've learned is that you can only do so much.
Yeah.
As a parent. And she did come to me when she was ready, and she told me she was ready. We took, different steps, contraception, counseling, things like that, HIV/AIDS counseling, condomization talks, the whole I remember back in my time, it was cool to carry condoms.
It was.
As a girl.
There was
this little tagline that said it's cool to carry condoms.
For real?
And I remember,
we should bring it back.
Girl,
we should bring it back. We should bring it back.
Because young girls are out here thinking that it's only the boy that should carry a condom, and then you get into a situation whereby when you're young and you don't have your own place, you do things so quickly, and this is what leads things like Tshepiso to fall pregnant. Where now you're frantic about a situation. It's like, oh my gosh, you don't have much time. You gotta go home.
Yeah.
So we need to change the narrative for young girls and understand that people are having sex, whether you say don't have sex.
So with your story, I've always wondered, were there any regrets, and has that changed?
I've never thought about the regrets because for me it happened. So when you come out of something and you regret it, but you can't change it. So I think I really shut down that thought
of regret
for a very, very long time.
You know why I asked this is that I imagine that if you're having a kid at 15, would you say, is it a fair question to ask whether that short-circuited your life or shortcut your life? I mean, you're 15, now you have to take care of another person, right? It means you're probably foregoing a lot of other 15-year-old things that 15-year-olds are doing out there. So when you look back, do you feel I shortcut my life, or that's just you shut that off?
A part of me I thought that I had those thoughts in the beginning.
Okay.
While I was pregnant, like, my life is over. What am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to be, a child
Get
anymore.
Out there.
But I think it's all in the kind of support system one has. So for me, I didn't need to stop completely being a child. Right. Obviously, the rules now were changing on me because it's like, so this is what you're out there doing. But to some extent, I would honestly say my parents did give me the leeway to continue to be
Yeah.
I went back to school immediately.
Yeah.
For me, I think, I didn't show for a very long time. So I stayed in school until I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant. I was at a Christian school. Imagine.
Sheesh, man. Woo, the pressure
Just
there.
Imagine.
Gosh.
And, so I had to, and in fact, I was supposed to write my Form 5 that year.
Okay.
This is another thing, sometimes we make our children grow up too quickly.
Yeah.
So for me, I ended up not writing for the reasons because, they didn't want me to write and fail because maybe this is affecting me.
Yeah,
and then I went back to school that February, the next February. She came in November. Then I went back to school the next February and redid my Form 5.
Okay.
So for me, I was given that chance to continue with my life.
Yeah.
By going back to school immediately. My parents did make a scenario for me where I am able to still be and go to school and be with other children.
Awesome.
Obviously with just stricter rules at home.
Of course.
But, I was able to...
We're not having a repeat.
Yes, I was able to continue being 15, 16 the next year and just like that, and even go off to university after that, But one thing for me that I did realize that it meant for me is that now I had to work harder than everybody else because obviously there was a baby. As much as...
Not fair for a 14, 15-year-old though.
But it's not fair, but it is your reality.
Yeah,
so, it's just something that you need to realize that, you were alone when you were making those decisions and therefore you need to take responsibility of them. I think for me also, a conversation that we had with my mom that she kind of didn't like what I had said at Gaudens, that she was hard on me, but and for me it was, but I did explain to her that the hardness wasn't, it is why I'm here today. It is who I am today.
Of course,
Maybe had she been a lot more relaxed, I would have had 3 babies by now.
Oh yeah.
At a young age and not have been able to finish school. So for me, in fact, that kept me ticking throughout the years. Like, my mother, But when I think about bringing home another one, it would be like, yo.
Can't do it.
So I think the foundations that were laid for me allowed me to continue to still be, but also to understand the gravity of what I had done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that background, you obviously had a better appreciation of, if that kind of situation would happen with your daughter, right? Because on Ghana, you said your daughter also now has a kid?
No. That's my husband's daughter.
Your husband's daughter?
Yeah, she has a kid too. My daughter...
How old is she?
And she's 20 now.
20 now, okay.
Yeah. My daughter's 19, she's turning 20 in November. And, I think it's just maybe time to just come out with it. We're pregnant at the same time. This world has a way of doing
it's like,
a complete 360 on you. And I was pregnant at the same time as my mom at that time.
Wow.
And she was around about the same age as me now. It's just that our kids are different ages.
That's
Mine is
wild.
turning 20.
That's wild.
And I was 15 at the time. I'm like, yo, Papa God. Yeah.
His sense of humor.
Also Astoria.
Sense of humor is crazy with God. Sense of humor is crazy. Let's pick it up on that. 11:36 is your time. Let's go over to Masco and Batanani Walk where my good friends Tshepiso Solomon and Dolomac are covering this amazing event. Be back right after that. All right, back in the studio. I'm chilling with Tshepi S, PR manager, PR specialist with Miss Botswana, the organization and the event. So let's talk about that. Really, that's one of the reasons that I needed you here, because you have some questions to answer. Why don't people love the event as much as they need to?
The event
Why
is
are there
packed.
complaints all the time, Tshepi?
Botswana barata go complain.
Really?
Botswana love to complain. This is what I have realized. We love to complain.
Yeah.
This is what we do as a nation. If we got paid to complain, we'd be a very rich nation. So for me, the event gets packed each and every year.
Okay.
So all of these complaints, for me, just is the sign that, this is just what we do.
Complaining.
It's just to complain.
But there's no smoke without fire? How would you respond to that?
You could say so. What is the fire? What is the supposed fire supposed to be?
Let's
find that.
Let's get this phone call. GabzFM, you live on air.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yes, sir. Talk to us.
I've been listening to your interview with this former radio personality of a certain youth or commercial, private commercial radio station.
Yeah.
Which used to be a house that brought unit F18 upstairs. Plot number 28560. She used to be saying with Seboneo.
Yes.
So the question to her is, how did she manage to cope with the situation whereby when you get pregnant at a tender age, there's all sorts of unpleasant words from your colleagues, or let me say from your age mates, from your relatives, family members, your neighbors, people who grew up with you. How did you manage to cope with this kind of situation? Look at the fact that you got pregnant at a tender age.
All right, she'll answer it. She'll. You have another question?
But no, there's no other question. But
okay.
All I can say apart from that is big up to her. I was listening to her shows at that particular radio station that she mentioned East Me. I know that particular radio station.
Amazing. Thank you so much, my brother. Cheers.
Wow, thank you.
All right, so real quick, how did you manage to just, before we get back into
the weirdest thing, it's like I said, it's all about the people that are around you. I had such a huge support system. I think at the time, my friends at the time threw me the biggest baby shower ever. And I think that first year of my child's life was completely sorted. So I really had some great friends, great parents to friends, because a lot of parents also might say, don't hang around with that girl, she'll influence you badly.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it is just the people that were around me embraced me in a way that allowed me to move past that stage without having been scarred.
Yeah. So back to the conversation about Miss Botswana and the complaints, right, attached to it. Some of them you say valid, maybe others not so valid.
I think let's give an example, because people say a lot of things when it comes to Miss Botswana, when it comes to the organization.
Yes. One of which that I think I remember top of my head was the Palesa dress situation. What happened there? What did you hear was happening according to the complaints? What were people so mad at?
People were mad because, anybody would be mad. When you send our beauty queen away and with a wardrobe, with a malfunctioning dress, so to speak, if the dress, I wasn't there at Palace's time, but I have heard and we've discussed what had happened then with those that were there. So for me as Botswana, I think, yes, there was a right to complain, because you were sending off somebody to go and represent us far away from home. She's got nobody there to assist her. This could negatively affect how she walks onto the stage, her confidence, her, if it's a dress that you hadn't practiced in already, you hadn't worn it, it's not fitting you well, you get judged on those things at pageants. So it's a really big thing. So for me, that kind of complaint is valid.
It's a bit valid,
It is valid. Whether or not that is what happened
is another story.
That, I think the person that had the experience with the dress is the only one that can somewhat speak on
I think it's a little unfair also for me to ask you that question if you're not part of that. But let's pick up this phone call. All right. And then Leseho happens, right? Some of the complaints that I heard were, do you remember the complaints about Miss Botswana? This particular one with Leseho, I think it was about what was that?
She's not visible. We don't know her.
Not visible. We don't know her. And I think they try to compare her with GabzFM. You live on air?
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes. Oh, we are actually learning and we are being inspired. Was the pregnancy planned or it was a mistake? So we
sending me back there.
We learn more,
All right.
And we face challenges daily.
Oh yeah. You wanna cook up some babies too, huh?
Well, I hope not at 15.
I hope so too. So yeah,
it wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned.
It couldn't have possibly been
at
planned.
14.
Not at that age. Yeah.
All right. Let's get this one. All right, you call us back. They are very fascinated. We had needed an hour and 30 minutes to talk about just that issue, right?
That issue alone.
Being pregnant at 14 and giving birth at 15.
But I mean, a lot of the answers are on Khaune's podcast. So
that's what I was about to say.
If they can watch Khaune's podcast in full, a lot of these answers will be answered.
Yeah, you guys really, really talked about everything, man.
Every bit of
about
it.
your first kiss.
Yeah.
Losing virginity at age 13.
Yeah.
And
we unpacked it from start to finish.
And how you have always liked boys, You
know what I have, and there I cannot even deny that me and boys.
It's crazy.
Even after having a baby, I like boys.
You like boys?
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I wondered. Okay, we'll go back to the Miss Botswana thing. I wondered, listening to your story, who you think you'd take after, personality wise, your mom or your dad?
I think it would. I don't know. The man I call my dad is actually my stepfather.
Your stepdad.
We are like ride or die. That is my guy to the death.
Okay.
I do know my biological father. We do have a relationship, but
Awesome.
I don't know him well enough to say that my character is his. Yes.
Where is he?
He's there. He's around.
there.
He's
Okay.
there. Yes, I'm very, very close with my siblings. From him, we have an amazing relationship. He's got a daughter and a son that are both 35 and 30 and 29 now.
Yeah.
So we have a great relationship. One is based out in Texas, and other is in Cape Town now.
Nice.
So yeah, but
you
we
got
talk
visiting
regularly,
places.
and yeah. In fact, I'm supposed to go to Cape Town next month.
Just do one thing for me. All right, just take me with. All right.
I'll pack you in my
Please,
suitcase,
pack
and
me
I
in
always travel with very big suitcases.
See?
You can fit inside there.
Hey, but can I? Huh?
You will fit.
Okay.
I know how to fold you.
Hey, it's heavy. Speaking of, your dad not being around, right? Because I think I heard you say that the time that you were pregnant, 13 years into it, your biological dad, was not around.
Yeah.
To what extent would you say that played a role in you then falling pregnant unplanned? Because the conversation is going to be
it's
around.
that daddy issue scenario, yeah.
The conversation is around, for a lot of families in B-Dub and maybe the rest of the world anyway, single parenthood.
Yeah.
And what that might do as consequences to these young kids growing, right? I think we played down
It's a feeling,
on that.
I think, especially with a girl child of, it's something that even I've rebuked my husband about when it comes to his daughter. In fact, that is the one place that him and I don't see eye to eye, when it comes to how fathers behave with their
daughters,
when they're not with their daughter's mother, So for me, I think that absence of your biological father brings up a yearning into you of being wanted. For me, this is what I believe. That you get that, even if you have a stepfather who is amazing and out of this world, it's like even with boys and finding their fathers, finding their roots, you want to be wanted by this man, you want to be wanted by a man. So I think this is how I would connect the two.
Yeah.
You'll excuse me, Tatai.
It's like, you excuse me.
But yeah, I think for me, and I think also it plays a part in my daughter being pregnant now. My husband's been in her life since she was 4 years old. She knows no other man. Except my dad, who was the one raising her while I was off for varsity and stuff.
Course,
but, there will always be that yearning. She has my husband. He's always been there. He's always played a father role to her younger siblings. But there is just that wanting of being loved personally by your person, by your biological father, by your... the person that brought you onto this planet. I think, honestly, this is where that stems up from.
That's where it's from.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that answer because I think a lot of people, whenever that conversation comes in, we shy away from the actual consequences it has on kids, especially girl children, There's a vulnerability, I think, that comes with, an absent father.
Yes, there really, really is.
Yeah.
Because even if the father, you have a present father figure.
Yes.
There is that wonder about, I think it's a natural thing. Why wasn't I? Why is he not spending time with me?
Man.
I can imagine what my daughter went through. That why has he never reached out and wanted to know me? Why, has he never tried to find me?
Yeah.
As much as there's a father there, these questions have gone through her mind.
But he's in her life now.
No. He's never been. He's never ever been.
Since you were 14, 15.
Yeah. He told me it's all going to be okay and dipped.
Man.
So, yeah.
How did that feel for you? I mean, you're young, obviously.
I was very disappointed, I think, but I got to, one thing my friends sometimes worry about is I know I really pack things away and put them away very fast. I do not dwell on things. I will cry about it and I will decide this is the last time I'm going to deal with this thing and move on.
It's a
from
good trait to have.
Yeah, and I don't not feel it. I allow myself to feel and I will weep. Whether that mourning comes for months or whatever, I will go through those emotions. I will make sure I spend time with myself to feel them, to cry.
Yeah.
Whether it's listen to music that makes me think about it and cry it out, because I tell myself once I am done and I you do get to a point where you're crying, there's no more tears.
There's no material.
When I get to that point, I will place you
done.
aside. That's what I also used to tell the guys I used to date. Like, yo, when I'm done, I'm done.
It's over.
Yeah.
Look, to play devil's advocate a little bit in the minutes that we're left with, he was also very young, yes?
Oh, he was.
He was. So the psychology there is he's scared, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it all together. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What? How old was he?
He was 17 at the time.
Yeah,
He
very
was,
young.
Yeah, he was 16 going on 17.
Man, we got 35-year-old
Yeah.
brothers running away from you because
I'm saying.
imagine a
Yeah.
17-year-old guy. So
Yeah, so I think, you know what, I'll give him that much. He was young. Decisions were not being made by him either about whether or not he could be. The little bit I got from my interactions with my parents and his parents was, you know, they decided, there were questions of, is he really the father? How do we know our son is the father?
Are you serious?
You know, yeah, you know, how do we know our son is the father? What proof do you have? And, you know, so, and then I think after my daughter was born, they said they wanted to come see the baby just in case he was the father. I think that's where my parents were just on time. Y'all can go jump.
You know what?
man.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all can go jump. We are not doing your whole just in case thing. It's either you're going to be there or you're not.
Yeah.
So they chose that they were not.
Dope.
And for me, I appreciate that because there's also nothing worse than an in and out father. That, I think, is
terrible.
more psychologically damaging than a completely absent one.
Dang.
That's my take on it.
Dang. Look, we have a few minutes, all right? And I
Yeah.
just need us to talk about, you know, Miss
Miss
Botswana,
Botswana,
the
yes.
visibility thereof or lack thereof
Yeah.
of Lesego. And I did say before we jump back to the phone call that most of that conversation comes from the comparison
Yeah.
between Palesa and Lesego,
Lesego.
right? Is that comparison even justified as a PR
It is so
specialist?
unjustified.
Okay.
Let us begin here. We take the two ladies.
Yeah.
Usually a Miss Botswana, when they are crowned, leave for Miss World immediately.
Okay.
The Miss World pageant, which is a 1 month festival. This is why it's called the Miss World Festival.
Yes.
It is a 1 month experience.
Yes.
This is where you gain your popularity. Your
Yes.
popularity with your own home country and international appeal as well.
Right.
Usually a Miss Botswana will get that immediately after they are crowned. Mind you, Palesa also came in already a socialite, already with
She
a
was
good
on TikTok.
following.
She blew up on TikTok.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and we want to compare a young lady from Shorobe who's a lawyer.
Who's been busy studying books.
Who's been doing the books
Yeah.
to Palesa, who got to go to Miss World 3 weeks after
Right.
and even place. That placing catapulted her popularity, you know, within a month or two after
right.
being crowned.
That's right.
Then there was COVID. Then the Miss World finale moved to the next year, March,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is when Lesotho was supposed to go this year, May. But in the time of her reign, they decided to move it to the end of the year, which is the original time that Miss World was held before the COVID scares happened.
Right,
so
right.
it is unfair to compare the two because she did not have the same journey. She did not have the same opportunity to go and instantly pop
Yeah.
with that Miss World following, with that Miss World efforts of, you know, the publicity that is put into it,
Right.
as Palesa did.
I feel you.
And like I said, she is a lawyer. She didn't come into this a socialite. You know, she didn't come into this an influencer already.
Yeah,
She had
yeah.
to build her likings, her
And
likes
she
on
has
Instagram.
she has your help with that. She has your help with that.
Yeah.
What are some of the plans that you have as an organization going forward? It could be either with regards to Lesego or as an organization in whole.
Moving forward, I think, you know, one thing I've noticed and appreciate about being within the organization is it's always open to change and it's always looking for better ways
Yes.
to, you know, better the situation.
Yes.
In all honesty, you know, a lot of also the complaints that people generally have about Miss Botswana is that lejela ngwana madi.
There's always that.
And my question
always
is,
that.
Afi,
I'm glad you brought it up.
Which one? Which man? Did you give the organization some sort of money that maybe is still pending in the banks
Somewhere.
and is about to clock, you know? And that's really not the case. There really isn't support. I cannot speak on the years with which I was not there, but, you know, this organization relies heavily on being given money, being given donations,
Sponsorships.
our Miss Botswana being booked. Everybody wants Miss Botswana to come to the event for free. Everybody's always just on something. She must come and make an appearance. She must network. Networking is not going to buy her outfits.
She's already exposed.
Yeah,
guys, so.
Networking will not buy those shoes, those outfits, will not get her hair done and her makeup done.
Yeah.
You know, corporates are out there inviting her to things for free. Why are we not paying appearance fees? You're paying MCs, you're paying performance, but you want her to come and speak and bring that siriti to your event, but you don't want to pay for that.
So it'd be your own people, huh?
It is our own people who are really causing it to be this way. So I think, moving forward is where now, even just this year that we have spoken, is there has to be a point where we say, okay, the free runs that Miss Botswana are done. From here onwards, people need to pay for her appearance now, because you also then advertise and say Miss Botswana will be there again. And this will get people to buy tickets to your event to attend.
That's right.
So why are we not paying for that?
Tshepi's time has been so jealous, but I appreciate the minutes that I had to spend with you. We talked about a lot of things here on the FM, pregnancy, family, Miss Botswana, and all that. There's a lot more that we need to talk about, but time. I hope that one of these good days I can catch you and sit down somewhere and then, elongate the conversation.
We can have a proper conversation.
Have a beautiful day. Please tell us how to come to the Juice 2.0, not to be so scared.
She's coming.
Jesus, girl,
She's
come
coming.
to this. But God bless you. God bless your family. Until the next time we speak.
Thank you.
One time.
Ciao.
That's Tshepiso Solomon, Tshepi S, media personality of note and PR manager and specialist with Miss Botswana. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by the Juice 2.0. We do it again tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is TKay. Check out the YouTube channel, The Juice 2.0. We're doing great, all because of you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm out. Bye. What's going on, YouTube? My name is TKay of The Juice 2.0. I'm just here to say thank you very much for checking our video, and click subscribe, like, and the notification button for more content just like that.